Hi, I'm Jason Gray. Have you ever wondered why some people succeed immensely in a certain system and others in the exact same system fail? While some have tremendous results and some don't. Are you in sales, into business for yourself, starting a business or running a business and like to see more results? If you said yes to any of those questions, stay tuned for this week's book breakdown. Alright guys, we are looking at Now You Know by Ryan Chamberlin, Why Some Succeed and Others Fail Using the Same System. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, how can it be when things are set up, why do some fail and some don't? Well, I got a bunch of notes here, probably take us about 15 minutes to get through, but it's going to be worth the ride. So I'm just going to read you some of the things I highlighted. There's a simple book, a fast read. If you're not in business or sales, probably not the book for you. But if you are, you're going to like some of this, and some of it's going to be like, oh yeah, or I know that, or I'm doing that. Great, if you're doing it, move on to the next tip, right? But if you're not, or if you have salespeople in your organization that aren't, you got to refresh this type of stuff with them. So the first one is, to sustain a successful career in sales, you must continually develop both your character and your skills. These two are inseparable, right? So you won't see anyone with a poor attitude do well long term, right? You won't see anyone that has a lack of integrity or just real slimy stay in business for a long time. No one's going to refer them. It takes a good person and someone who wants to help to really do great things. All right, Zariel, thank you. So here's 7 laws that the author wrote to do well. The first law is the law of the first impression, right? People do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. Okay, you guys know that. But you know what's interesting is people will judge you in the first 30 seconds. People are pretty much making up their mind right away. Would I do business with this person or not? So you do have to look the part. But most importantly, you need to connect. You need to be somebody that everyone, or at least your prospects, will know, like, and trust. Okay? People begin to make their decision to buy right away. In the first 30 seconds, oftentimes the close is done or at least set up. Okay? People who are most successful have one very big thing in common. Within a matter of minutes, people feel like they know them. Hey, put in the comments below, is there anyone in your life and anyone recently that you've met that you're just like, oh, I like this girl. I like this guy. There's something about him. Who was that? And what was it about them that made you feel that way? Let us know in the comments below. I'll tell you, there's a guy, I have lots of people like this in my life, but one person stands out in a networking group of mine that just always seems like they're coming from the heart. They make it about others, no pressure, confidence, just great on all levels. People know, like, and trust this person, right? And they want to give business to this person. They want to talk well of this person. So that's what we all need to strive to do and be. Another tip here, keep the conversation centered on the other person, not on yourself. Eventually the subject of business or things about you will come up. And we've heard that in lots of videos. Maybe I'll put a card up here on some of the Les Giblin ones. But that's a common theme, right? Good people skills, great people skills are about making interest in other people. To be interesting, you need to be interested, right? Now, if I can just figure out how to turn the page here, that would be helpful. Okay, law number 2, the law of staying in control. So you should have successful steps and processes in your business, in your marketing plan, in your sales plan that you or your team or your organization has put together to follow. And prospects don't know what those are, but if you let your prospect control the process, you're going to get off path. You're not going to get to the proven success steps that help them and help you. And it's going to be a best case scenario, a roundabout way of getting to the desired result. But a lot of situations, when you get derailed by the other person, you don't get to the needed steps and you lose the deal, which doesn't help them, doesn't help you. So keep control. One way is to ask questions yourself to get control back, but also to make sure that you let the people know, hey, here's our next step, let's do this, or that will be covered when we do this, let's move forward. All right, so keep that in mind here. Remember this, it's not your presentation alone that makes the sale, it's how someone feels about your presentation that makes the sale. So you have to really think about, maybe practice with someone who does something similar to you, have them give you that presentation or give you feedback. And see, does this make you feel comfortable or excited or bring up your pain points, and then I offer a solution that you get excited about or that you feel confident would solve it. If not, you gotta find out where you can tweak those and incorporate the right emotions, okay? I know everyone is well-intentioned that watches this, but we need to, that doesn't go far enough. We have to know what we're really projecting out there. I'll give you a quick example. If I told you this, I'll give you $1 million today if you jump out of a plane without a parachute. Would you do it? Most people think about that and say, no, I'm not sacrificing my life for $1 million. So what if I gave you 20 million? Would you do it? A lot of people start going, maybe or maybe one day, right? What if I gave you $100 million to jump out of a plane with no parachute? Would that be worth it to you? A lot of people start weighing in, right? But here's the challenge with that question. It's putting a certain emotion or thought in most people's mind who heard this. Like, that's ridiculous. No amount of money to jump out of a plane. No, no, no. But you're assuming the plane is 30,000 feet in the air and you would die. I didn't say the plane is parked on the ground. You're 10 feet high. You jump off. Maybe you break a leg, but you're more likely going to live and have all that wealth to do some good with, right? So our details that we give or don't give, the way we say something, it's painting a picture and emotions in someone's mind. And we need to know what that is and paint the appropriate picture, don't we? Okay. All right, law number 3. We got 7 on law number 3. The law of the takeaway. Look, when you're telling people how good your product, service, or opportunity is for somebody, and you're just telling, or even asking questions, which is a better approach, but you're just, this has got to be for you, don't you see it? No one likes that, okay? In fact, it's not that effective. So now you might do a little bit of that, okay? But taking it away from somebody is another tool. It's like the cat string theory, right? You dangle the string in front of the cat and they want it. You give it to them, it's just a boring string. They're bored and done with it, right? So sometimes you have to say, hey, I know this isn't for you, but who do you know? Hey, I know you guys aren't ready today, but when you are ready, blah, 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 okay? Or hey, you probably wouldn't be interested in what I'm doing, or this, you guys are probably all set up, but I'd like to at least sit with you, show you what I'm doing, because you'll probably know someone that could use my help. Whatever the takeaways are, all right? So know the philosophy and put it in your heart. If you argue with your prospect, even if you are right, you'll always lose. So you don't want to be confrontational. If they're saying it's not for them, they don't need it, they're not interested, they have no time, great. I know you don't have much time. That's why I just want to get with you for a few minutes, because you'll probably know someone who does. Would you help me out? Okay? So know the art of the takeaway. Lots of examples of that in this book. Here's another tip. Assume that if you've left several voicemails or messages and they haven't gotten back with you, that it's time to do the takeaway. They're probably not that interested, or they're so distracted by life that you or what you got going on is a low priority for them. So if you professionally but politely let them know, you just say, hey, this is I've left you a couple voicemails. It seems like now is not the right time for you. It seems like this solution is not a fit for you, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take you off my list and just move on. I don't want to bother you any further, okay? And if I got that wrong, just go ahead and call me back and let me know, right? Something like that, okay? Law number 4, the law of big rocks. Enough qualified appointments will always guarantee your success. Okay, let me read the story. Let's imagine you're sitting at your desk, okay? And you have a 1-gallon bucket in front of you. Imagine this big bucket, okay? Also on your desk is 4 elements. You've got water, sand, pebbles, and large rocks, okay? Imagine that each of those elements represent a different activity required for you to make sales and build a profitable business. So the water represents self-education, which includes things like listening to audios, reading books, and attending company events, okay? The sand represents sending emails or text messages, returning general phone calls, and making sure everything stays organized, okay? The pebbles represent training and working with your team to create more volume, all right? And then the big rocks represent setting qualified appointments through your system. Most new salespeople begin to fill up the bucket with the water and the sand and the pebbles. In other words, they're busy. They're very busy attending events, planning strategies, returning phone calls, training. So busy, in fact, that when it comes time for the big rocks, they realize their bucket is already full and there's no room, or more specifically, no time to do the activities that matters the most, which is showing the presentation to qualified prospects. The water, sand, and pebbles are what a majority of people who say they're busy are actually doing, okay? How do we solve this problem? We begin by identifying the difference between activity and productivity. That right there, guys, that little segment is the key. Why do some succeed and some don't? The ones that succeed are doing way more activity in the areas that matter the most. A way one of my friends who's successful says is, are you spending most of your time doing the $100 an hour activity and above, or are you doing a lot of the $25 an hour activity and below? Okay, we gotta find ways to leverage the smaller, easier, simpler tasks to other people or automated systems so that we can focus on the professional, high-level, high-skilled areas. Okay. Law number 5. Assume the close. Just like you assume getting the appointment, assume the close. If you followed a good system and people are still hanging in with you, a lot of times they're going to move forward because you're offering a solution that helps, that brings value. Why wouldn't they move forward? And if you don't believe in that with what you're doing, one, you're doing the wrong thing, okay? So you should probably go do something else. Or two, you just need more belief and knowledge and experience with what you're doing. So get with people who are more experienced and also look at the details yourself and feel like, can I wholeheartedly say this is the solution for most people? If not, you gotta move on, okay? Some of the words you can use, one word that's very key to use, obviously. So John Mary, obviously a plan makes sense, you know, to have a plan makes sense compared to not having a plan. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yeah, exactly. So here's how we're gonna get that started, right? Using the word obviously pretty much anywhere is strong. And then once you've proposed a closing question or solution, silence is your friend. It's a tool. It can feel awkward if you're inexperienced, but let's say you say, great, so you guys see the need for this solution, don't you? Right, okay. So we can get that started for you tonight. Now I can't guarantee you can get it. You do have to qualify. Here's the qualifying factors. But what we'll do is we'll take a 1-month deposit and we'll get that qualification process started. Does that sound fair? Silence. Now they might be like, tonight? Maybe they'll look at each other tonight, should we? And they start, you know, talking about the details together, and then they'll let you know yes or no, or you'll hear some concern and be able to address it. But maybe they start saying tonight, and you jump the gun, yeah, tonight, it's gotta be tonight, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna lose the time for them to think. You're gonna put pressure on them. You're gonna lose some valuable information that they need to hash out, or that they would present to you where you know the true thoughts and ideas, and you can help them move forward if it makes sense, okay? So silence, while it can feel awkward when you're newer, it's very important to have, okay? Another word or saying is other than that. So someone says, you know, we're worried about the time it takes to do this. Say, okay, I hear that, you guys are very busy. Other than the time concern, any other reason why you wouldn't move forward? No, you know, I think it's just that. Or yeah, well, the money or this and that. You need to know what concerns are on the table, what the real reasoning is by diving deep. And then if you have a solution for it, offer it. And if you don't, maybe it's not the right fit, okay? the power of third-party documentation. Testimonials and other experts and happy clients basically saying the same thing you've said or that you're thinking about saying just gives that much more weight, because when you say it, they doubt it. When they say it, they believe it. And a third party is somewhere in the middle there, okay? So if you have some good third-party materials like Forbes magazine, the stock market, whatever it is, and you could show some of that or some other experts that people would recognize, go ahead and use that as part of your presentation if you need it, or maybe even part of your close. Law number 6, real quick, the 80-20 rule. So, you know, what if you fail 80% of the time? That means 20% of the time you win. And you can't beat the numbers. Like, there's no way you can beat the numbers, which can be frustrating. But the good news is there's no way the numbers can beat you. So no matter what your ratios are, if you understand your ratios and just pour it on, you're gonna win, okay? And the Pareto principle looked at things in the early 1900s about, wow, 80% of the time this happens, 20% of the time this happens. And people started looking at that in organizations, in sales, in health. And that general 80-20 rule applies so many places. But if you look about this, 80% of the results come from about 20% of the people. So are you a top 20%er or not? And if not, you need to follow a lot of these tips here to become in the top 20%. The last law, the law of urgency. Let's say there's a rule that, or there's facts or something that backs up that says, after you've done 25 appointments, you're good. After you've done 200, you're great. And if you're great, that means XYZ, which is very exciting for you. Well, we know we have to do 200 appointments. But success loves speed. And momentum makes us look better, feel better, and do better than we actually are. But the lack of momentum works the opposite direction, okay? So if you did those 200 presentations in a very condensed time frame, it's more like you did 400 or 600. Just the multiplication factor of everything going on in momentum explodes. But if you do that 200 appointments over 10 years, you'll still get to the great status, but you're not gonna have a lot of momentum. There's no multiplication. It's just kind of addition, right? So do you want multiplication or addition in your sales, in your business, in your life? You gotta be a do it now person. You gotta do it one more time. If this is the minimum or this is the quota, boom, I'm going there. If I've done this before, I'm not getting happy doing that, I'm going here, right? Be that type of person. That's really how you'll succeed when others fail, or you'll get 10 times the results doing something similar, just a little more urgency piling on. Anyways, guys, I hope you got something out of these tips. The most important thing is that you apply them to yourself, and then once you've got it rocking, teach it to other people, spread the wealth, right? If you like reviews like this, if you like tips or ideas or talk about these types of subjects, smash the like button and be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, because we've got 6 more of these to do just this year alone to be at our 50. But we're gonna be having lots of videos and lots of content coming out with personal experience, with experience of other successful people, books, videos, audios. I mean, we're gonna have it all, and you guys are gonna learn, you're gonna grow, you're gonna be inspired, and you're gonna be able to make an impact and live out your true calling by applying some of these ideas. And if you've got a rocket in your world, or you're an expert in any of these areas, share with us in the comments, share your knowledge, inspire others. Let us know what your channel is. We'd love to be connected with you guys too. Until the next one, join me in the pursuit of greatness.